Okay. Okay. So the first question to Ameeta.
Yes.
Hi, Ameeta.
Hello.
Your
Hi.
sessions are amazing, you know. I can go through it again and again. See, I'm a hypnotherapist myself, but still the way you've explained, it's amazing, like, you know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. However, I have some questions to ask.
Go ahead.
Okay, so isn't resolution of issues through hypnotherapy interfering with karmic life?
My answer is no.
Okay. Why no?
So why no? First and foremost, when we are conducting a session of hypnotherapy, it is with the consent, right? So it's the willingness of the client who approaches a therapist. By and large, when somebody thinks of thinks of approaching a therapist, which means somewhere the seed of wanting a resolution has already emerged in their subconscious space. Do you agree or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. No one would just go because they want to. There's always something. It may many a times come as a curiosity. Oh, I want to explore a regression session. My question to people who come for, regression with a curiosity, I always ask, is this really curiosity? And then I sit with them for another 10 minutes and there we know something is there that they are looking to address. Or maybe they are looking what it is. So when something comes from within, that is from your subconscious, which means somewhere something is already shifting. Where in your subconscious, which is actually the area or the zone of all the experiences in this life and that life, which also is kind of, in a way, if you are aware as a hypnotherapist, the subconscious is connected to the soul, the frequency, which means it's kind of a nudge from the soul that, hello, it's done now. I want to do something about it. Now this whole wanting to get better, that desire, and then approaching a therapist is a timeline in many cases. I have lots of people who come to me and say, you know what, I taken your contact number in July, I'm coming to you now. For some reason, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. So these two aspects, one, having this nudge that I want to get better, and then taking an action over it is a conscious decision. And whenever there's a conscious decision with a subconscious, a nudge, which means something is coming to a point of resolution. And so all those karmic things that we talk about are basically because they were somewhere unresolved and unprocessed. Somewhere something has to end, no, Mridula. And that end will only come with a conscious choice, which comes in this form to us as hypnotherapists or regression therapists. Have I answered this question? So we are not interfering it.
Okay.
And secondly, as hypnotherapist or regression therapist, we make sure to ask them, what is it that you want to address? What is the objective of the session? Defining the contract. And that again seals the fact that somebody is now getting ready. Certain things, now I will go very much in depth because this karma is a big chapter, but there are certain times, certain aspects won't be resolved because it has its own time and space, karmic fulfillment. But peace can definitely come. Is that now clear? Because we are dealing not with bringing them resolution in their external. So the commonest thing people come across is, I want to get married, I am not getting married. Now we are not here to sanction them a partner in their life. Very common thing. I want to make money. We are not here to sanction them a bungalow or what they want, a job. We are here as therapists to create a space for them where they can find peace with the pain that they have in that respective area. And once they have peace, then it is up to them to take an action step. And once that action step comes, or sometimes it comes magically because law of attraction works. So in no way are we really interfering if we follow these steps.
One more. Suppose a person has been a perpetrator in the previous life,
Yes.
and now decides, okay, I want to be a victim now, because I had troubled somebody.
Mhm.
So again, isn't that playing this thing with karma? If this person decides to be a victim because he was bad in the previous life,
Yes.
suppose,
Yes.
then if you help, I'm just saying, this karmic connection, I really don't know how to.
Yeah, I understand the question that's coming from. Maybe someday we'll have more discussion in detail, but I will address it, whatever your question is. If somebody has been a perpetrator in a previous life,
Yes.
and by way of the karmic
Atoning,
yeah. Now, not every perpetrator ends with victim, but anyway, that I'm not going there into detail right now. But yes, one of the possibilities that they are a victim of what they have perpetrated. Now, even if they have been a victim, as I'm saying to you, karma is basically an energetic imbalance. Karmic resolution is coming to everyone when you start having an awareness that I made this in my life. So I chose to be a victim, and I chose to be a victim because I have perpetrated this. All the more, this would be a great opportunity when they start taking responsibility of their being a victim, thanks to being a perpetrator, and making a choice that I now choose this to take charge, not anymore act as a victim, but they may continue to, maybe, lack of a better word, suffer the consequences of that perpetration. But that comes with peace, that comes with acceptance. So then you don't feel like, oh, people are doing this to me. Then it comes with, okay, so I have done this, and I am now kind of going through this, and there is peace with atonement. Repeating again, therapy is not about changing your circumstances. Therapy is about shifting your inner responsibility to your own situation, or rather it's about your own inner matrix, which will allow you to take responsibility and acceptance of what is. Okay.
One more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or I'll give somebody else a chance.
No, go ahead.
Okay, one more is, how does the previous cellular memory, we were talking about cellular memory, right? So how does the previous cellular memory recognize the new physical body and soul after it is reborn?
So this is again a very interesting question. I will only tell that there have been studies, and there are a lot of people who are conducting the studies about, so when there is a death of the body, the physical body is dealt with whatever is the culture and the religion. With that, the etheric body also goes, but the astral and the causal body continues, right? Which is what gets in the form of a soul. Now, that itself has a memory. And that memory itself is what gets triggered. So there are neotics, there's something called as the research done by neotic sciences. There's one body of research if you want to explore. But this is what it has been found, if that answers the question to you. How it does, you'll have to really go into studying about it, but there have been studies conducted by the neotic sciences which says that there's a cellular memory that gets carried in the astral and the causal body, which when it chooses the body, the body, it kind of carries that imprint. And that imprint is what? Is basically the energetic imprint, which has the triggering mechanism from the outside circumstances and relives the whole experience from the past.
But does it recognize the body, which was previously?
The body is different, but that cellular imprint, which is there in this body, is now getting activated. So it's the soul which keeps coming up and down, or maybe now there's again, we'll open up a big chapter right now. And the chapter will take you into one topic to another. I don't even want to open up, but I have made a note of it. If you want,
Okay.
I'll think about giving you more discussion on it in a conceptual way, right? But what happens is the body is not the one which is kind of coming back. It's the soul with the cellular memory imprint, the memory of that experience which gets impregnated in the body that we are. This body is made of 5 elements, right? And once that memory is impregnated with the thought and the emotion, it then starts having the vibration of that. And that's how you feel, oh, it's that body and this body. Is that making sense?
Okay, sort of understood, but still I feel I need to.
Okay, so we will keep this in mind. Whenever there are more questions, what I'll do is I'm also making a note of it, and maybe we'll have, you can put down, I've been asking everyone every week to put down some questions or some concepts that you want to understand. So if this is the concept unclear, we'll have it one of the days, because then I cannot, I'll go on explaining in a little more depth and it will take another 15-20
Yeah, and another I would like you to explain is what is a spirit and what is a soul?
Okay. Or you want to ask, okay, the spirit and the soul. So basically spirit is something which has, which is Holy Spirit when you say, right? It's mind, body connected, right? Now, if there is, soul is basically neutral when it comes to charge. But when there is a charge to it, it becomes spirit.
Okay.
It means it's carrying some imprints, then it becomes a spirit.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we'll make note of these questions and take them up in the sessions to come.
All right, we can do that.
Shweta has raised her hand.
Yeah, hi,
Yeah.
Shweta.
Hi. So what I wanted to understand, the cellular memory that we were talking about, and that kind of raised curiosity. What happens is that, and I'm not like saying right or wrong. What I wish to understand is that there are certain practices which kind of, or kriyas, which claim to clear that cellular memory. I don't know whether it's part of past life regression, or it is not propagated as past life regression, but does that really work as in terms of those kriyas? Because I'm sure you are an expert and you have researched a lot, so you will have some insights about it.
Okay, thank you for really trusting me in that. I'm an expert in the field of past life regression, and I'm still a student as well. Let me tell you.
We all are students at that
So
time.
even if, but then when the question that you ask is regarding kriyas, right? So
or any practices, I'm using the word kriya, or any kind of processes that are being done.
And the reason I mentioned that I'm an expert in this field, I'm not an expert in that field. Yeah, so I'm not sidelining this question, but I do believe that there would be kriyas which can kind of help one to bring peace and resolution with the cellular memories or the karmic memories or karmic imprints. Like there are so many practices. One of them is Vipassana, which I'm sure most of you have done or some of you have done, right? And there are so many other kriyas in different organizations. Like we know about the Pisha Yoga, we know about the art of living, we know about Siddhi Samadhi Yoga. They all have their own kriyas. Right? And these kriyas are known to be cleansing something. Am I correct? With due respect to all of them. Some of them I have been associated with. Some of them I have been associated, I have practiced a couple of them, but I cannot say I'm an expert. Right? But they all aim at two things. They aim at cleansing something. And cleansing is what? Clearing something. Clearing is what? Emotional and energetic debris. What is that? Coming from the pain. Pain coming from something that you are unaware of. So how I look at it, Shweta, is these kriyas will also have the potential, but they require a practice. How does it differ from therapy that I'm talking about, the hypnotherapy or the regression therapy? And I'm not claiming to make tall claims about it, but a therapy is like a capsule. You get into that capsule and you are right there. It's like there's a starting point and a destination point. That's the benefit of these modern day intervention of the regression therapy world. But the practices require practices. Practice. Now that's very individual, no? And hence some of us may not be so sincere and determined and consistent. In the modern day society of all the distractions, and not distractions, but so many other engagements where we are engaged with, we don't have the luxury of going to Himalaya, which is why the older times the monks would go there and find those places which were also high vibration places, which could kind of support them to kind of, let go of all that they are working, going into their tapasya and sadhana. Now, our challenge is we can't do that. We have a house to take care. We have other things also to be engaged with. So many things are there. So right in this society, if we have to really kind of take care of our challenges, this is like how you go from one place to another. It's like, you're going in a capsule from you're just getting one possibility to transport yourself, not literally, but take a dip into your own inner world. So somebody said here, yeah, Mridula is a hypnotherapist. Hypnotherapy is almost like experiencing meditation, right? It's a trance-like state. So it's like you are shortchanging that practices. However, having said that, therapy is not the end all for everything. So Kriya and therapy have their own place. Kriya is about doing something on a daily basis and consistently. And therapy is where you actually go and, say, now this is too much, I can't handle it. But your client, your therapist facilitates it for a way so that you can actually get that space to offload, and not just offload, but even understand, which does not require consistent doing of the work. Generally, we don't do everyday therapy on the same thing.
Right.
Is this answering your question?
Yeah, I mean, there are different measures being taken to reach the same goal.
Yes, absolutely. There is no one road to wherever we have to go. There's a proverb like that. I missed out. What is it, Ankita? There's no one way to reach God, right? We say that there's so many ways, and every way. So the Kriya is more a spiritual way. When you talk of these therapies, especially I can talk about hypnotherapy and regression therapy, they are more like a treatment which is at the spiritual and the mind level. So it's a specialized form of psychotherapy, which we have the luxury right now. And there are a lot of things which are supporting in the universe right now to us, which is why, and I'm opening another question for myself again. I'm sure I'm going to invite some. The current situation that we are on the earth is rotating at a different axis. Schumann's frequency, I'm sure some of you would have heard about it. So we are in that time and space continuum where all these work that we do and the ability to access our inner space gets hastened or is getting easier for the matrix that the earth is right now. So even if we don't go to Himalayas, we still have the little possibility to explore in our inner world and really go into deeper aspects of our inner world. That's what we do in a regression therapy training. We have people who really have explored themselves to their origins from wherever, So yeah, this is the long and the short answer of if that addresses you. So you may continue doing your Kriya. Yeah. But there are times when it's a very, very deep work and something that you can't help yourself. This becomes like a shortcut.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome. Mridula. I can't hear you. You are on mute, Mridula. She's unable to unmute.
Let me just.
Yeah.
So Kriya is more of a ritual, isn't it?
It is a ritual.
Ritual, yeah.
Yeah, it's something like a practice.
Yeah.
Now, you know what happens with ritual, no? Unless you have the S in that, it does not become spiritual. And S is all about your spirit and soul, whatever you would want to say, your own self. So that's a little, what do you say, a disadvantage. But having said that, it would be good to take every day something which is consistently there to work on yourself. All of you here, I'm sure, are very interested in self-work. Otherwise, you would not be sitting here. So that's a Kriya, right? Okay. Thank you, Mridula.
Thank you.
We have a question in chat.
Yeah.
What kind of gap should be there between two sessions?
Okay. That's Soumya, right? I saw.
Yes.
She's not here. Okay. So,
She's here.
oh, she's here. I saw her. Sorry. Hi, Soumya. So basically, it will depend from what session have you taken previously and what is it that's coming up. If it's a very deep work done, then I think waiting for a week or 10 days is a good time. And there are times people do visit me who have come from overseas or they're coming from outside Mumbai and they've come for a certain time period and they want some work to be done. Then I do at times, consecutively, but I see, I sense, I get, are they ready or not, because what happens is when you go through these sessions, as I said, every session, for me, I tend to take something deeper work. So for me, they are deep work. So it needs some little processing. It needs some settling in the body, right? So I ask them to maybe see them at least one day later or something. But the best answer of this would be given by your therapist who's worked with you. And the another best answer will come to you when you ask your body and yourself, am I ready for the next one? So this will take away what Mridula's first question was, are we interfering with your karma? A very enthusiastic therapist will want to say, chalo, I'll work this, I'll work that. But I always give, the choice to the client and say, would you like to take it? Are you ready for it? It's always there implicitly and explicitly. So you will take this decision for yourself. Am I ready for it? Is my mind ready for it? There are times the mind is resisting. But then you can check how's the body feeling. And if you are not able to get the answer, trust your therapist to guide you. Okay. Okay.
Do we have any other questions?
If nobody's asking, I'll ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So, Ameeta, I've been doing a lot of hypnotherapy sessions. So I wanted to ask you, do we attract certain energies? Because I've been getting the same cases over and over again,
Okay.
Like, for example, initially, like, some years back, spirits, foreign entities, spirits, I was getting that sort of a thing. I was doing something else, the person used to come with some issue and it used to go off into another past life and certain such issues about spirits and foreign entities. Okay, that got over. Then I was attracting sort of illnesses like cancer, three cancer cases I got, so two of them were resolved. The third one, before I could do, like, that person passed away. So that, and recently, you'll be surprised, I got a transgender case for counseling. And like that person was not yet come for hypnotherapy, but even before I could convince that person to go under some therapy, the other person, same transgender, came to me with the same issue. So then I don't know how to handle this because I don't know anything about transgender.
So yeah, two questions. You said the first one was about there are such situations where you get similar kind of cases.
Energy,
right?
yeah. So am I attracting those energies?
Yes and no. Is it bothering you?
No, it's not bothering me, but it just like this thing happened about transgender. So I was wondering, like, this is not a regular, counseling sessions that I do. And suddenly one person called me and, said, I want to come to you. I heard something from someone that you're a good therapist. So I said, okay. But that person doesn't want to do hypnotherapy.
All right.
So you give me any therapy, but I don't want to go into that past again and get that trauma. That's what
Yes,
person
I
says.
can get that.
Hmm.
So, well, I would only say take it as a compliment. Feel encouraged, motivated. And if you have got 2 people, which means, okay, you are ready for handling them. Now, every time there is a first case in your life, no? Isn't it? Anything, there's always a first case.
Yes, yes.
So I would say it's okay. Also, I'm not surprised if transgender is visiting you or any other therapist now, is because things are at a space in our current society that they are willing to step out and talk about their issues. They feel there could be a possibility of a safe space. Therapies are safe space for people. They are meant to be safe space, right? And if that person has heard about you, which means they have, you have done a good work with somebody, and there is a recommendation, then that's one thing that you can take. Why there are 2 people coming? Sometimes we have seasons, right? I mean, there are seasons. When I say, you understand what I'm saying, right? When I said you're attractive, when you said, am I attracting it? I would say yes. And no, because when you take it, oh, why am I attracting it? Is there an issue in that? Then there is no way to take it as a painful situation. It's just that people are, there are one kind of people coming to me, and maybe I'm ready for it. I would say consider them as any individual.
Yes, that's there. But then, I have this at the back of my mind that, am I doing the right thing? Because I'm not trained for that,
So again, I generally fall back on my gut, and I just say that if somebody is willing to come to me, and if I am ready for it, he or she will come and we'll have a frank conversation. See, this is what I have not come across it.
Yes.
That's how I would work.
Yes.
And if you feel comfortable, we can go ahead.
Yeah, I'm comfortable and everything is okay. But at the same time, I feel I need
I'm
to
not
know.
sure how many counseling centers are. There are few of them, I know, but how many of them are really actively doing some training in such, such kind of counseling? I haven't heard. I know few of them, but not many.
Okay.
So that is what it is, the way it is. So if you're not trained enough, because we don't have so much of exposure. Yes. I assume you are a psychotherapist, and besides a hypnotherapist, you are a psychotherapist.
I'm a clinical psychologist and a
so and I'm sure. Yeah, so I'm sure clinical psychology was done by 10 years back.
Yes, long back. Yeah.
Long back.
Yes.
Was there even the word of LGBT and transgender and all these ever even uttered? No. So if that was not uttered at that time and space, which means all the senior teachers or the senior counselors are not ready for it. They may be ready with their expertise and their understanding. That's so I personally believe counseling is more about, of course, that does not take the training part of it. It is more about your own experience and your connect and your willingness to be open to that kind of people. How would they be different from other people is what I don't see.
No, there's a lot. I'm doing.
There is a lot of trauma of a different kind, but trauma,
trauma here and a lot of psychology and a lot of things there, you know. So I'm doing what is queer counseling. I'm taking sessions for that.
Okay, so you're already following a certain methodology.
Just started, yeah, just started.
So then go ahead with it.
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't mean to say that you don't have a specific way of working with it. I said ultimately they are human beings.
Yes.
There are certain basic characteristics for a therapist. And if you can really be on those checklists truly 100%, then getting trained in a specialized way is not so difficult according to me. This is my point of view.
Sorry, I'm we diverted from hypnotherapy.
Yeah, but yes, we can come back to this topic and check if anybody has any other questions on hypnotherapy. Has everybody experienced it? Let me ask you a question. How many of you have not experienced it? You can raise your hand.
Like hypnotherapy, a session?
Yeah. Hypnotherapy, regression therapy, not experience.
Ameeta, you have.
Yeah. Not. Yeah.
Come again, sorry, I didn't hear what Ankita said.
No, I thought I hadn't, but I have.
Okay. Shiraz, this I not experience. Yeah. So you can ask questions if you have, what keeps you away or what is it, if you would want to ask. Or we can also wrap it up. I think I have a time limit, but I don't have a limit when I'm addressing questions. I love it because that's what, it makes it alive, the session.
But no one is asking.
I think someone.
Sorry.
Shiraz, yeah.
Yeah. Should there be a reason to go in for hypnotherapy?
What is?
Should there be a reason to go in for hypnotherapy? I mean, you should feel that you need to go in for hypnotherapy, no? Otherwise, why would you go in for it?
So hypnotherapy, as I said, is an extension of psychotherapy. If you have to really see it from that point of view. The psychotherapy addresses or rather conducts therapy at a certain dimension of your mind. And hypnotherapy is going a little beyond, using a certain intervention that takes you into a trance. So whatever reason that one would choose for psychotherapy, yeah, is the same can be chosen for hypnotherapy. It's dealing with the mind. So people ask me, where does it work? And I'm talking on this platform. It can work everywhere where there is mind. I know. Makes you laugh for anyone, but that's fine. Or where the mind feels not resolved, to be more precise. When I meant to say that wherever there's mind means where the mind is not resolved or conflicted or mind has a pain. Or mind has an issue. Now that does not mean every case will go into hypnotherapy. One has to now as a therapist assess to what extent and what is required. So there is no blanket thing that you have to go into hypnotherapy. Yes, does that answer your question, Shiraz?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ameeta.
Welcome.
Anybody else? I think we are way beyond our time.
Yes.
So yeah, I just one question I wanted to ask Ameeta. Whenever I've seen with so many cases, people go into their past life, they always remember being a prince or princess or all good things. Never a beggar or criminal or murderer. And not a single case I've had, who is been a, sort of a bad person.
Really?
What about you, your experience? Have you had any?
So we all have all kinds of experiences. How much are we ready to explore? No? See, basically, when you do a regression work, you are going beyond a certain defense mechanism that your mind has. You know what's a defense mechanism as a psychotherapist, right?
Yes.
We have defense mechanism which blocks our past experiences, which is why on a daily basis you can't access it.
Okay.
Right? So are we ready to really acknowledge that I am a murderer? Not easy. It takes a lot of this thing. So when we take people through transpersonal regression therapy training, or we take through hypnotherapy training, and they are made to do many sessions as a part of their learning to be a therapist. And there are times when they have really cleared a lot of their so-called victim lies. मेरे साथ ये हुआ, वो हुआ, फलाना उसने मेरे साथ ये किया, मुझे ये नहीं मिला. After that, they end up having, then they realize that there's something called as, there are perpetrator lives and karmic lives and dharmic lives. So we do have a module based on that. And there a lot of people have different things. But a regular client would not be in the space many a times to come to that. And they can also. There have been people who have been seeing themselves having to do some dark act. So it's not that but yeah, it's less likely. See, it goes into re-traumatizing them, no?
Yes. Probably that's.
So regression therapy is at times a tightrope because you're re-traumatizing it. But that's where I believe the role of the therapist plays a little more. Not for anything else, but to hold that space so safe and so much in a way that the client does not kind of go through extreme agony, or at the same time, they know how to bring themselves and get this insight to start being back. with the resolution.
Thank you.
Welcome.
You have answered so many of my questions.
Welcome. Okay. So thank you so much. Yeah, we will look forward to hear from you, right? My joining hand friends Ankita and Komal, who have been very kind enough to be there in all these sessions. I would really urge people, at least who are here and more, that, you know, if you would let me know and let us know, rather, me and the joining hands, we are right now one joined. So do let us know what is it that you would like to know more about this regression therapy or hypnotherapy also, because sometimes they are overlapping some of the time. And I'll be happy to be there for all of you to really get some clarity. And why I say that, because this is the time that people want to explore, but I know there are a lot of people having a lot of myths, a lot of apprehension, a lot of doubts, or maybe sometimes not very good experiences, unfortunately. Not that everybody has it, but then you can have your own clarity. And okay, somebody's now saying, finally, I'm that frightened of hypnotherapy. So with Komal's permission, I'll just address it quickly.
Yeah.
Like when
It's
people
all
ask
yours.
questions, I'll be happy to have more questions. So I'm that frightened of hypnotherapy, Sandhya. Have you experienced it?
I haven't experienced hypnotherapy, but I remember my friend got hypnotized as just for the fun of it. And then later on, that lecturer could make him do anything, anytime he felt like. So that's the reason why of the fear.
Unfortunately, that's not hypnotherapy for me at all. I'm being very serious here now.
I agree, but yes,
so
the
this
fear
is,
remains.
no, that's exactly what I'm saying. If I have to be very candid about it, this is not hypnotherapy. You're not here to make fun, and you don't go for the heck of fun. And that does not mean you go for serious things, but there are a lot of other things that you can take it in a sincere way, right? And if something has got as a sequelae of a hypnotherapy session, then I'm sorry to say whosoever it is was not handled correct. And if it is what you mean by, that could be a stage hypnosis also. Sometime 3-4 decades back, people were made to, I mean, even now there are a few people who take people on the stage and make them do things. Hypnotherapy is not about making you do things that you can't do and you don't want to do. If I can really shout out on the roof on the top of this building, I would like to do that. It is about, as I told you, it's like any other therapy done with a consent, done with a mutual understanding of what are you looking to address with your client. And very systematically taken through the process and very systematically and neatly brought out of it. It is not going into anywhere else. It is just taking your mind a little more deeper that you have not been able to explore yourself.
Okay.
So I'm so passionate about it, you can sense it, right? I would really urge you to, if you would like, if any of you would want to really get more clarity, and with the permission of joining hands, I do have some YouTube videos on my channel, which is demystifying this, Sandhya. So what I'll do is, I'll just check with Komal and Ankita, and I could post it on the group, right?
That would be lovely. Thanks a lot.
You will have to be a little patient because I like to talk and explain.
That's okay. I'll be patient and I'll pester
So I have a
Ankita.
20-minute video, and I have also 1.5 hour talk on all about hypnotherapy and demystifying it. It was a long, it was again a conversation that I took with a group of people, and and I myself chose all the questions that I've been having for the last 15 years, and I was addressing it one by one. So it took around 1.5 hours to address all of them practically. So I would be happy to share it on the Joining Hands platform as well. And please go through it and write your comments on the Joining Hands page or even on the YouTube video, whichever way that works for you. Now that you have asked, even if one person here can be freed of the fear, my job is done.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, I think I am enjoying this, but I must respect the other people's time and space, Ankita and Komal as well. I think we can continue this next time again if there are more questions. And then we find out what are the common concepts which are still lingering in the people's space. Yeah. And then we can have these topics again run through every Tuesday. How does that sound? Or we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if anybody has more questions, they can reach out to you or either of us and we'll get them to you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Komal. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ankita.
Thank you, Dr. Ameeta.
Thank you, everybody. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, Ameeta.